virtually every child has a laptop where they have the possibility to make beats or tracks or record some bedroom masterpiece and put it out there, SoundCloud, Spotify. And that's why you have like really young people coming into music in a way that we really haven't had before, because you used to have that like 10 years of building, your reputation in a scene and getting access to equipment. And then by that time you're in your mid 20s before anybody's ever heard of you. And now, kids are coming out as teenagers, essentially like making albums on their laptop. That's the point of entry to be able to make a record and record and get it released was so massive when I was starting. It entailed going to, a bar or a cafe and signing up Monday night for open mic night where you could play 2 songs for years before they would give you a gig. And then maybe you play that gig and 2 people listen. Everyone else is at the bar talking. And then you keep coming back every week. And then some people are like, I like that song you did, or you make friends with that band and they get you on the bill here. And it was such a long, slow build. And you're right, now we're in this we've created this digital space, which is like a 4th dimension. They're talking about like these cell phones and tablets and these things are actually neurologically hardwiring into children's nervous systems now. Like they've mapped them into their bodies. Like these phones are, they say neurologically, they're you sort of get the sense of like where your hands and your extremities are, and the phone is actually hardwiring into the nervous system as part of their body. And
100%. And by the way, No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, and I think mentally, we've sort of have this reality of the internet and what everybody's doing and all the little clips and photos that we see all the time. It's augmenting the reality that we had back in the day before we had all this stuff, where we're just living our lives and things, and maybe you do a phone call with somebody, but you didn't have this sort of conceptual reality that was floating in the background of your consciousness 24/7. This is a new thing, and we don't really know where this takes us. And obviously it's obviously bringing a lot of people together. There's positives, but there's also, I don't know if we've quite internalized and realized the ramifications of all this stuff.
Oh no, we have not.
I think
and
we're
by
processing
the way, it's not just
that right now.
It's not just the kids, by the way. Look at all these grown-ups, full on grown-ups that have been radicalized. Like, I mean, not to get all political, but I'm sorry, all those people that we saw acting going bananas, okay? That's called radicalization, okay?
Right.
They were radicalized and they don't even know it.
Right.
I mean, imagine like going into like your T-Mobile store or your like Verizon store and like, yeah, let me get that phone. Okay, I'm gonna get this service package right here. Not knowing that package that you got just landed your ass in jail because you was one of them people in the Capitol that one day, not knowing, damn,
like the Capitol package.
Verizon going, thank you for your, thank you. I mean, and I'm not saying that it's their fault, but I'm saying you just don't know what you're signing up for. You think you're just signing up for service. You have no idea you're signing up for so much more
free data
that you got to like pay attention to. And I'm saying I have a great relationship with Verizon. I hope y'all don't think I'm trying to point the finger at y'all. I'm just saying phone service is a whole, like phone service and reception means a whole lot more than it did before. Because one could argue if you were just rolling around with an old ass Nextel chirping,
you would have missed it. You wouldn't have been there.
Or a walkie-talkie, you wouldn't have got it.
You would have missed it.
But your phone has this amazing genius technology in it that is customizing everything for you. It is finishing your sentences for you. So if it can finish your sentence with your sentences with predictive texting, that feature, then imagine all of the things that it is sending your way, further sending you down your deep rabbit hole of like, separating and being angry at people, like full on radicalization, full on. Like we can no longer point the finger at people in, you know, people was pointing the finger in the Middle East. They're being radicalized online. Listen, what those things have done to a lot of these grown-ups, these quote unquote grown-ups in America is unbelievable. January 6th was like one of the most pronounced examples.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, by the way, and LA's like, Scott's been sending me some, like, you know, some updates, and LA is like on fuego.
It's popping off right now.
Yeah. Like literally popping off.
Like, they not playing no games. And the thing is like, you know, it's only going to continue to grow because I don't think that we are collectively taking a real honest look at things and saying, okay, there are some measures that need to be taken. I feel like at this point, everyone's just chasing. The governors are chasing, you know, the system is chasing, the CDC is chasing. Like, nobody's like ahead of the game. Like, no one's really looking at this the right kind of way. And I don't know, are we going to talk about some of this on this next album, Beck, or no? Where's your mind?
Huge. Yeah, there's so much right now. To me, it's like creatively, like there's so much happening in our time, and to articulate something about that in music is daunting. It's like this bottleneck. It's like it's like having 500 gallons in a 1 liter bottle trying to get out. You know, that's kind of what right now feels like for me. Like, how do you articulate this moment? How do you make it, put it on a human scale, right? We do know, and I kind of was feeling this the last 10 years, that things are changing and things were about to change. The world that we've known our entire lives is coming to an end, and we're going into a new world. And this last year, this last year is really, it hasn't been gradual, you know? I'm curious. I think
it's been radical.
I found myself a little creatively paralyzed last year, partly because, you know, I was in such the mode of going on tour. I had a huge tours booked. I'm in that mode of kind of working and going 1,000 miles an hour, and all of a sudden we're stopped. There's nothing happening. You know, it's like an airplane that's fully in flight, and all of a sudden you're grounded on the ground. Like, it takes a while for an airplane to slow down, you know? You don't go from 600 miles an hour to sitting at the gate in a second. So, and then I think we're all kind of getting our bearings and trying to see what this is. What does this mean? Where are we? And so I think it's going to be interesting, like, what we have to say about this time musically over the next couple of years. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. I feel like people want some upbeat celebratory music.
That's what I've been feeling too, which is weird. That's been my instinct, you know?
It needs to work for the arena.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all last year. I was listening to something that was just, everything was up. Like, I wanted music that made me want to move, you know?
So my suspicion is that it needs to feel like it works for an arena and a bedroom.
Right. Well, that's the other weird.
Because if things are not open, like, the girls want to get open, right? And they want to, if they're not going to be in the club, like, they're going to be in the mirror, like, working it out. Thank you.
Right. We're going to get to that point, you know, if we're sort of shut down and people want to express themselves. They want to move. They want to feel music. They want to, you know, engage, move their bodies. You know, it's just who we are. You know, it's such a basic human thing. But I think because of streaming, we're in a weird zone with music, which you said we got the bedroom thing, right? People, when they're streaming, they want to hear really intimate, small, quiet stuff, you know? But when they're at the show or the festival, they want to hear something that really moves them and is physical, you know? So it's kind of a strange time to be making music. It's like, we got to make music that's for the radio or for like performing, and then there's music that's what people listen to on streaming, which is kind of like it's a different kind of music that works for people on streaming, right? Isn't it weird? It's like the music is almost shaping to the format. Whereas like music used to shape towards MTV and radio and what you played in your car, you know, and now this sort of feeling of Spotify is this kind of, it's a more personal, small, you know, quieter kind of sound.
OTHERtone.